No, when a child by himself accepts to do that, he forms his will, he acquires a master, he can decision, he can take responsibility. Huh? In fact, we develop the will a lot by responsibility. But everybody receives intellect, let's say for our intellect, memory, everybody has memory, but we can develop, or we can also not develop like mine.
Is there a difference between a habit and a discipline?
The habit is the quality, the disposition you acquire to do something easily, rapidly, surely. For example, you acquire a bit of playing the piano, speaking English or French or another language, practicing justice, temperance, okay? But the discipline is a condition to acquire a habit. It's a condition. If there is no discipline, if I cannot control a character, if I cannot control myself, of course, I cannot learn the piano without discipline. Without a strong, we say a strong will now. What is a strong will? Is that is discipline. Strong character. Okay. So what I explained to you, they are on page 191. 191, I will underline the influence of the will on the sense appetite. My will can control. And my will can control my sense appetite, but also my sense appetite can influence my will. That means, why? By distracting the intellect. My sense appetite presents a thing so beautiful that my intellect is induced into error. Okay? So it is the same thing for those who see. When I was young, every week or every one, somebody knock at the door, ring. Mrs. Legault, do you need some medication? And I opened his box, and there was syrup, and he convinced my mother that, oh, that is very good, you need that for your children, you know. And to attract, to interest, to say that is good, it's good. Oh, taste it, use it, take, num, 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 good, huh? They do that in ice cream. I think a little bit, a little bit, but a little bit. After that, you take your money, you bought it, from a little bit into a big bit. Okay. Emotion, page 90 at the bottom. Emotion and passion can warp the judgment. You know, when somebody fall in love, sometimes all the people around him, he said, he is doing a bad thing. He lacks of judgment. Many times, prejudices, we saw that now in Ferguson. Nobody in Ferguson on both sides is able to take a decision. It is emotion on both sides. And that emotion warps the judgment. Okay? It is the same. We say never take a decision on the emotion. Be quiet. After that, you take a decision. Next page. Emotion and passion can limit the freedom of the will. The emotion can fix the attention of the mind on the thing and limit the capacity of reflect. And finally, you can so center on the object that your will is. Suppose somebody like a lot to drink beer. If he keeps beer in his car, he keeps beer in his office, but he will drink. Because the sense, the emotion, when you see that, I remember Homer Simpson who sells his soul to the devil for a donut, the emotion, beer. Your will is not able to take a right decision. So it's the reason why you have to take off the occasion of sin. I say sometimes to someone, if you are tempted by other things, for example, pornography, put the picture of your wife and your children on the screen. You know? Or take off that. If, of course, you are married, and you put the picture of your secretary on your desk or in your wallet, you keep the emotion, and your will is not able to take it. It will be attracted. The more we desire, the strongest is the will. Don't forget that. The more we desire something, emotion, a passion, is the reason why passionate men do great things. In the history of the world, who did great things? Those who were passionate. Passion is a mother. And when the passion is united with the will, those people, they do something incredible. A good example of that is Sister Teresa of Calcutta. She was passionate. She loved, at the same time she had a strong will. So passion and will, it can be for holiness, it can be also for bad things, to kill people, etc. Suffering from the fighting against passion can influence, because sometimes we can be tired to fight. And when we are tired to fight, we accept. Okay, so that is a little synthesis, and you will see that with Father Malady, I am sure. If Father Malady teach you, he will teach that. Because when we study with him fundamental moral, it is that we study. But please don't tell him that you study. Don't tell him that you know. Okay? It's a good
So we have
advice.
to tell him in our mind that we know. We don't know.
No, you cannot say you don't know, but give the appearance of not knowing.
That's easy.
I don't practice in here.
No problem.
You know, it's very dangerous to say, I know. Don't tell that. Between us. Okay. Now, let us go to the next paragraph, 29. What is man? Father Reichman has a book entitled Philosophy of Man. If ever you want to know who is man, who is the human person, I recommend you to read that book. That book. It's not difficult, it's not very abstract, it's very well done. Philosophy of the human person. It is worth to buy, happy to read. Very good. For me, one of the best. We have chapter on the end, sense knowledge, the will, emotion, and habit, virtue, habit, and we have also on the nature of the person, personality. I will be inspired by this book in that class. And you have at the end the nature of life. So I saw that with my students. I repeat the same class, but they are so patient. It's valuable. It is a Loyola Press. Loyola Press. Okay, that is, I have no commission on that. But sometimes people ask me, Father, give me, and he can give a good book that is solid, very solid. And he is also aware of the modern psychology and the discovery of science. It is the fruit of 18 years of teaching. And not only for him, but he used the same book with other Jesuits in other colleges. And together they work, they create that book. Okay, so page 193. We can speak about man in two aspects. In an analytical way. It is what we do with philosophy, with Father Reichman. We study the man step by step. Sense knowledge, internal knowledge, abstraction, after that emotion, evolution, that is analytical. But we have also to arrive to find a synthesis, and it is what we are doing tonight. We try to make a synthesis. What is the human person? What is man? That definition of man, it is the whole human composite. We consider man not only as a body, not only as a soul, not only as knowing through his senses, through his intellect, no, the whole. In fact, it is the coronation of philosophy of man. In some time, and now it is the new title they give to my course. Instead of calling that philosophy of man, they call that philosophical anthropology. Well, it is the same thing, except it is more sophisticated. Personally, I prefer philosophy of man, but you know, philosophy of anthropos of man. Anthropos in Greek. Okay. So what is man? Well, you know from Aristotle and St. Thomas, man has two realities. He is an animal, he eats, he sleeps, etc. And man is also a thinking machine. He thinks, he is rational. And in logic, we saw the three operations of the human mind. To grasp the simple apprehension, what is thing, to put that together, judgment, and to unite judgment in order to arrive to a new conclusion. It is reasoning. So I go to the next paragraph. Union of the body and soul. In fact, we cannot. Can we define man like Descartes? Descartes say, I think, therefore I am. Can we reduce man only to thinking being? No. Because we are more than a thinking being, we have emotion. We saw how some activity in our life require the role of the body and the soul together, the intellect together. For example, knowledge. We saw that knowledge we have to use our senses to abstract from the phantasm, etc. So the human soul differs from all others beings because it is rational. He is an intellective soul, he has also an intellective appetite, the will. So man is apart. Man is very apart. Except, as I told this morning in the other class, if you are materialist, you don't make a difference. For a materialist, there is no substantial difference between you and your cat and a tree. All that is matter. It's only a different degree of quality of matter. Secondly, the body exists in virtue of the human soul. The body is an essential part of man, and it is a positive value. Yes, yet the body exists not in its own right. That means the body cannot exist in itself. The body cannot exist in itself, because if I am dead, it is no more my body. It is a trillion of cells. You know? So the body has no existence in itself, but it exists with the soul. They are the co-principle of human life, but in virtue of the soul. The human soul is the form, animating, precising, qualifying the body. And here we come back to isomorphism, the genius of Aristotle. Every material being, and we are material being, is made with form and matter. And now by analogy, we can apply that to man. And what is the mother of man? This is body. And what is the form of man? It is his soul. Or anteliki, for some philosopher, some scientists who cannot accept the word soul, because for them soul is a philosophical term or theological term. We can say also by another analogy, because we saw that before form is to matter like act to potency. So we can see that the body, the soul, is to the body like the act to potency. Bon, let us reflect on that. The form, we saw the form is giving the reality to matter. For example, this desk here is not a desk because it is made with wood, because it has the idea of desk. Otherwise, it can be a plank, a chair, anything, okay? So in the principle of determination of my body, because my body as a body, I mean made with cells, hydrogen, calcium, is indeterminate. You study chemistry, you study the principle of Lavoisier, Lavoisier, the chemist, French chemist. He was a scientist, very intelligent. He discovered the composition of air, as that Lavoisier, but he was shortened at the revolution because he was the elite, like Pol Pot. Pol Pot, he killed all those who have glasses. So those who have glasses, they were executed. It's better not to have glasses. Okay. So we can see what is the soul. It is the form of the body. But the form is determining the body. So when the form is determining the body, the form is actualizing the matter. So when we can see the soul is the act of the body. And what is the first act is to exist. That means the human body exists because, as a man, not as an atom, as a man, because of his soul, of its soul. It is the soul. Here you have the two definitions of the soul. You have the illimorphic definition of the soul. Illimorphic. Why? Illimorphic. Because the soul is the form of the body. So when I speak about form, I speak about matter. We call that illimorphism. Ile, in Greek, means matter. Morphe, morphology means form. Here we call the metaphysical definition. Because we speak about act and potency, act is existence. Existence. So the soul is the act of the body. The soul determines the body as existing as a man. It's not my body make me a man. It is my soul determining my body. As long as my soul is actualizing, determining, animating my body, I am a living body. I am a man. Okay? So, I go to the next page. Page 194. That union of the body and soul for man is a substantial union. That means substantial exists as one substance. I am not a body, I am not a soul, I am a human body. I am a rational animal. Substantial. So my body is my substance and my soul is my substance. Both of them make me. My material, my matter, remember material cause and formal cause. My material cause is my body, my formal cause is my soul, but they must be together in the form of my body. That is interesting. Because if you see, the soul is the form of a body. When we die, we'll see that soon in the next class, the soul is immortal. We prove that. So because the soul is immortal, the soul continues to be the form of a possible body. I say possible because through philosophy, I cannot prove the resurrection. But as I told in the other class, the philosophy of Aristotle is the best philosophy to prepare, to accept the dogma of resurrection. If you have a Platonism, you cannot accept that because the cave, the body is for you the cave. So what is happiness is to die, to break the cage, the egg, and to go in the world of the ideas, eternal ideas. The reality is the idea. So when St. Paul went to Athens and he preached on the Areopagus, he said, I have a good news, Jesus came, God came, oh interesting, but you know, came in the body, that is difficult to accept. Finally they were polite, they listened to him. He died, oh okay, no, okay, can accept that he died. No, it's impossible, better news, he resurrected. And what was their reaction? You will come another day to tell us your fable, your tale. They were not able to accept that, but Aristotelian, they cannot accept that because the form continued to be the form. Individual form, and my form is individual. Individual because it is determined, precise by my quantified body, quantified matter. So after my death, I continue to be myself. Without my body, and my soul is I. And I am responsible for what I did good, and also for what I did bad, you know. And I not mix in the larger human soul, you know, only one soul. After that, all the souls are like in a soup. All the souls, you know, they are the same soup. No? They are the same soup, the same soul. They are continue to be the form. So it's the reason why, as a Christian, we can believe in the communion of saints and say, you know, the form of my mother is still the form of my mother, and the form of my father. So I can talk to them, I can pray to them, because they exist as individual. Individual. Okay. Next page, page 194. So the human relation between the soul and the body is essential. Is substantial. It is essential. That means the essence of man is to be soul and body. It is substantial. Substantial. That means it is the substance of man. It is natural. The nature of man. The nature of man is to be a soul and body. Nature of man. Interesting. We find here that the concept we saw before. What is essence? It is nature, it is the essence of principle of activity. So my nature is to be a rational animal, to be a soul in a body. In consequence, I must act according to my nature. I must act according with a good hygiene, a good diet, sport, etc. My body, good, and my soul also good, both. So I continue just after that. The essential unity of man. It is so important that if there was no essential unity, I will not be able to say I. If I am one, it is because there is a principle of unity. We are made with trillions of cells, and we are one. We have a lot of organs totally different. The brain and my kidneys and my heart and my lungs are quite different, but they are working together. Why? Because there is a principle of unity. And when I eat, I don't say my mouth eats. When I sleep, I don't say my body sleeps. When I study philosophy, don't say my intellect studies. I study, I eat, I sleep, I play golf, I. So if so many organs, so different, they can work together in unity, there must be a principle of unity. So that principle of unity is my soul animating my body. My body can change, and you know by science every 7 years, according to some scientists, all the cells of the body are changed, are renewed by food. But I am always the same. The same. You look at yourself when you were the first communion, and you work at yourself at your marriage, and what are yourself today, and what are yourself when you'll be a permanent deacon or a priest, and you say, I, and I. And when you arrive to St. Peter, you say, I am going here to my Father's house. So that is important because Descartes does not accept that. Descartes does not accept the substantial unity of body and soul. For him, the union of body and soul is purely accidental. I am a thinking machine, but I am in a body. The body is a mechanic. Like when I enter my Mazda, I am not substantially united to my car. I am accidentally united. That's a very big consequence. But the facts prove the contrary. All the facts we saw in emotion, think only about emotion, knowledge, all that indicate that our faculty, spiritual power work with our sensible power. In our sensible power lead our intellectual power. They are linked. They are one in one person. I am a person because I have a body animated by a soul. I am intelligent. I am free. And also I am different from the other. We will see that soon. So we take a rest, 15 minutes, and we come back to finish that chapter and write the evaluation. Brother, can you take my second part?